Good morning dear students. In the previous video class, you learned about some chemical properties of carbon compounds such as combustion reaction, addition reaction, substitution reaction and oxidation reaction. In this class, we shall study about some important commercially very useful carbon compounds such as ethanol and ethanoic acid. Let us come first study about ethanol. The properties of ethanol. Ethanol is liquid at room temperature. Ethanol is liquid at room temperature. The boiling point and melting points are like this. Boiling point is 351 Kelvin. Melting point is 156 Kelvin. Children, look at here. Melting point and boiling point both are very low. This is because of due to presence of covalent bond. You know that covalent bond is not strong bond when we compare with the ionic bond. Due to that reason, all the carbon compounds are very low melting and boiling points. But ionic compounds are very high melting and boiling points. Now, ethanol is also called alcohol. The ethanol is a good solvent. And ethanol can be dissolved in water in any proportion. And this ethanol is widely used in medicines. It is used in the preparation of tincture iodine. It is used in the preparation of cough syrups and many tonics. And consumption of small quantity of alcohol leads drunkenness. It is, even though the practice, it is condemned. And it is a socially widespread practice. The long-term consumption of the low quantity of alcohol leads health problem. Now let us come to the reactions, chemical reactions of the ethanol. The reaction with sodium. Ethanol reacts with the sodium. It is sodium ethoxide with the liberation of hydrogen gas. Look at children. This is ethanol. Ethanol is, you react with the sodium. It is sodium ethoxide with the liberation of hydrogen gas. And this ethanol is the unsaturated hydrocarbon. Ethanol is converted into unsaturated hydrocarbon in this reaction. Ethanol is heated at the temperature of 443 Kelvin with the help of concentrated sulfuric acid. In presence of sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, this alcohol heated up to the temperature 443 Kelvin, it is ethene. And with the water, here water comes out. Due to that reason, this concentrated sulfuric acid is called dehydrating agent. Water is removed from this ethanol. Due to that reason, this concentrated sulfuric acid is called dehydrating agent. In this reaction, ethanol is the unsaturated hydrocarbon. Listen once again. Ethanol is heated in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid at the temperature 443 Kelvin. It is unsaturated hydrocarbon is ethene with water. Here water is removed from the ethanol with the help of concentrated sulfuric acid. This sulfuric acid is called dehydrating agent. Dehydrating agent. Children, all of you write this. Children, now let us come to study about the second commercially useful carbon compound, ethanoic acid. The properties of ethanoic acid. The ethanoic acid is commonly called acetic acid. The ethanoic acid belongs to the group carboxylic acid family. And the 5 to 8% of acetic acid in the water is called vinegar. 5 to 8% of acetic acid in water is called vinegar. vinegar is widely used as a preservative in the pickles, and vinegar is commonly used in the preparation of bakery items. The melting point of this acetic acid is 290 Kelvin. Look at children, the melting point of this acetic acid is very low. It often freezes in winter season in cold climate. Because of that reason, name of this acetic acid is glacial acetic acid. Glacial acetic acid. And this ethanoic acid belongs to the group carboxylic acid. The acids are, we know that the acids are a good conductor of electric current. The acids are going to ionize the ions. But that is possible in case of only strong acids. We already learned about the strong acids such as hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, etc. And the ionization possible in case of only strong acids. But in case of ethanoic acid is a acid, but it is a weak acid. It going to ionize partially. It is not going to ionize completely. Now let us come to reactions of ethanoic acid. The esterification reaction is possible here. The ethanoic acid reacts with absolute alcohol. In presence of acid, it gives an ester. It gives an ester with water. Here, this process is called esterification reaction. Listen children. Ethanoic acid reacts with the absolute alcohol in presence of an acid. It gives an ester. With the water is called esterification reaction. This ester is a sweet smelling and a sweet tasting liquid. It is used in the preparation of perfumes and it is used as a flavoring agent. Esters are commonly used in the preparation of perfumes and flavoring agents. This ester is treated with alkali sodium hydroxide. It gives back alcohol and the sodium with the carboxylic acid. Children, this process is called saponification process. This ester is treated with sodium hydroxide solution. It gives back alcohol and sodium with carboxylic acid. This sodium with carboxylic acid is a salt. This process is called saponification process. See children, this is a we have to use in presence of sodium hydroxide. Also use potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide is also an alkali. The ester is treated with alkali sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. It gives back alcohol and long chain of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide with carboxylic acid. This process is called saponification. The saponification is a process. It is used to prepare soaps. Okay children, all of you take this. Children, now come to reaction with the base. Ethanoic acid is an acid. It reacts with the base. It gives salt and water. Children, all of you recall we have already learned about this in your first chapter of acid, bases and salts. Acids react with the base. It gives salt and water. That process is called neutralization process. Here also the same process occurs because of ethanoic acid is an acid. It belongs to the group carboxylic acid. See children, ethanoic acid reacts with the sodium hydroxide. It gives a sodium ethonate with the water. Sodium ethonate is commonly called sodium acetate. See here, this is a salt with water. The formation of salt by the reaction of acids with base. Acid, ethanoic acid is basically acid. Reacts with the base, it gives salt and water. Here the salt formation is sodium acetate. Next, we come to how the ethanoic acid reacts with carbonates and hydrogen carbonates. Look at children. This is a ethanoic acid reacts with a carbonate, sodium carbonate. This sodium carbonate reacts with the ethanoic acid. It gives sodium acetate with water and the liberation of carbon dioxide. All of you recall, we have already learned this about in your previous chapter. In your previous means the first chapter of acid, bases and salts. In that chapter, we have already learned about this. See here, the same ethanoic acid reacts with the sodium bicarbonate. It gives sodium acetate with water and liberation of carbon dioxide. The acid reacts with the carbonate. It gives salt, water and carbon dioxide. The same acid reacts with the hydrogen carbonate. It gives salt, water and acid. We have to conclude like this. See children, the ethanoic acid is basically acid. It reacts with the carbonates. It gives salt, water and carbon dioxide. The same ethanoic acid reacts with the hydrogen carbonate. It gives the respected salt with water and with the liberation of with the liberation of carbon dioxide gas. All of you take this now. Children, now come to in-text question of the page number 18. See first one. How would you distinguish between experimentally an alcohol and a carboxylic acid? Now come to the solution. On reaction with sodium carbonate, carboxylic acid produces carbon dioxide gas, which turns lime water milky, whereas alcohol do not give this reaction. This experiment can be used to distinguish on alcohol and carboxylic acid. The carboxylic acid only gives such kind of reaction when we compare with alcohols. Due to this experiment, we conclude that which is a alcohol and which is a carboxylic acid. Reaction of carboxylic acid with the sodium carbonate is like this. Ethanoic acid or carboxylic acid reacts with the sodium carbonate. It gives sodium acetate with water and liberation of carbon dioxide gas. This carbon dioxide gas turns lime water to milky. Next, come to the second question. What are oxidizing agents? Children, I told you already in the class. Listen once again here. Oxidizing agents are those compounds which either removes the hydrogen or adds the oxygen to the compound. Oxidizing agents are the compounds which are helps to remove the hydrogen or which are helps to adding the oxygen with the compound. Such are called oxidizing agents. Oxidizing agents can be used as halogens, potassium nitrate, nitric acids. Children, now let us come to study about soaps and detergents. Children, we know that soap or detergents are used to remove the dirt or grease or oil content from the clothes. The effect of soap in cleaning most dirt is oily in nature, and as we know that oil does not dissolve in water. The molecules of soap are sodium or potassium salts of long chain carboxylic acids. The ionic end of soap interact with water while the carbon chain interacts with oil. The soap molecule thus form structures called micelles, where one end of the molecule is towards the oil droplets while the ionic end faces outside. This forms the emulsion in water. The soap micelle thus helps in pulling out the dirt in water, and we can wash out our clothes clean. Now let us study about micelles. How micelles are formed. Children, we have observed while bathing the foam is formed with difficulty and an insoluble substance that is called scum remains after washing with water. This is caused by the reaction of soap with the calcium and magnesium salts, which cause the hardness of water. Hence, we need to use a larger amount of soap. This problem is overcome by using another class of compounds called detergents as cleaning agents. Detergents are generally sodium salts of sulfonic acids or ammonium salts with chlorides or bromides ions. Both have long hydrocarbon chain. The charged ends of these compounds do not form insoluble precipitates with the calcium and magnesium ions in hard water. Thus, they remain effective in hard water. Detergents are usually used to make shampoos and producers for cleaning clothes. Children, now let's come to how soaps and detergents are working. You know that the cloth is become a dirt, or it is a dirt with grease or oil. How the oil and grease is removed by using soap and detergent? Yes, now let's see. This oil and grease is removed by soap and detergents. Soap or detergents. Both are a different chemically compounds. Soap is a long chain of hydrocarbon with sodium or potassium end. This is a simple soap molecule. Thus, that soap molecule is having head and tail. Head is a ionic end. It is a polar charged and it is a hydrophilic, water loving or water liking pole. The tail is a long hydrocarbon chain, non-polar and non-ionic, hydrophobic, water hating. And when we add detergent or soap, the soap or detergent molecules are arranged on the surface of dirt or oil or grease like this. All the tails are towards the grease and heads are towards out. This formation is called micelles. Micelles trying to loosen the dirt from fibers. It is not easily out when the agitation of the cloths by hand rubbing. This is removed through the water. Children, now come to in-text question of the page number 20. The first question is like this. Would you able to check the water if water is hard by using a detergent? Yes. See children here, it is not possible to check if water is hard. It is not possible to check if water is hard by using a detergent, because detergents are salts of ammonium or sulfonates of long chain carboxylic acid. It doesn't give to form a precipitate or scum. Unlike soaps, they do not react with calcium and magnesium. It forms a scum to distinguish nature of the water. Due to this reason, detergents are not used to check the water is hard or soft, but by using the soap, it is very easily distinguished. Now let us come to the second question. The second question is like this. People use a variety of methods wash clothes, usually after adding to the soaps They beat the cloth on a stone, beat it with a puddle, scrub with brush, or mixture is agitated in a washing machine. Why is agitation necessary to get clean cloths? Agitation is necessary to get clean cloths as agitation aids soap muscles to trap the oil, grease or any other molecules that have to be removed. When they are being beaten or agitated, the particles are removed from the cloths and the cloth surface and go into the water, thus cleaning the cloths. Due to this reason, the agitation is necessary to get clean cloths. Children, the chapter is completed now. This is a very long chapter. In this chapter, we have been discussed about bonding in carbon and versatile nature of the carbon, saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds, chains, branch and ring structure of the carbon compounds, nomenclature of carbon compounds, and some chemical properties of carbon compounds. Some important carbon compounds like ethanol and ethanoic acid and their properties and chemical reactions of ethanol and ethanoic acid. And finally, soaps and detergents. Children, I hope that all of you understood very well. Thank you.